Hey art friend, today we'll be learning how to color in white and black hair. And by we, I actually do mean we, because I don't know how to do this either. See, that's the thing about being a self-taught artist who only draws based off of vibes, you might develop bad habits. Well, time to fix that by actually looking into it. See, this video idea was spurred on when I was browsing through Colosso, as any self-respecting self-taught anime artist would. There was a free course by a Korean illustrator, Seoji, that caught my eye. This is a short class, only around 30 minutes long, so it's perfect for a brain-rotted, short attention span person like me. Normally, when I see something hyper-specific like dedicating an entire course to drawing 2 hair colors, I think that there might be some niche and interesting takeaways. So, of course I had to check it out. Now, before we get into the contents of this course, this video is not sponsored by Colosso. But if the marketing department of Colosso stumbles across this video, I'm perfectly willing to shill for you in the future if you give me a fat sack of cash. Anyways, I'm gonna show you guys what I learned from that class. If you want to watch it for yourself, just go to Colosso, the course is free. Now let's start with coloring in black hair. Details can be harder to notice if you color the hair too dark, so don't go all the way black. A good starting point would be in the middle of the color wheel, this kind of neutral gray. Now that you have a dark base color, you can do the opposite of what most people do when coloring, which is to not shade, but draw the highlights instead. See, you already have a kind of dark base color, so why would you want to make it even darker? You're just gonna run into that problem where details will get harder and harder to see the more you go over them. Actually, funny enough, this entire time I did the exact opposite of what I was saying. It doesn't matter. The important part is just that the hair isn't too dark. Your hair should now be separated into 2 rather large sections, one light and one dark. The light section should be the one closer to the light source. We're going to be adding more details to these 2 sections, but one thing to keep in mind is that, for the most part, the brightest sections of the dark section should still be darker than the base color of the light part. That's a bit of an oversimplification, and you're free to ignore it, but it works as a starting point. Now, to add some depth to the hair, you'll want to adjust the color of the back hair to visually separate it from the front hair. Now, it might be more intuitive to make the back hair darker, but since we're already dealing with dark hair, you can just make it brighter instead. Now, the important part about all of this is contrast. Contrast is what will separate the visual elements of the front and back hair and create the illusion of depth. You'll still probably want to add details at this point, and when it comes to hair, detailing means highlighting. There isn't a hard and fast rule about making highlights, and highlight shapes is very dependent on art style. More realistic art styles will try to emphasize individual hair strands. You can try achieving something like this by blocking out a highlight, and then drawing thin lines out, and even erasing thin lines in the block. Cuter, more chibi art styles can really start to simplify the highlights into geometric shapes. Usual shapes I see is this kind of crescent looking thing, and ellipses. For this piece, I was experimenting, so I went with ellipses because it's not really something that I usually do, and I wanted to see how it worked out with my art style. And I didn't really like how it turned out, but there's always room for experimenting. One last thing about highlights. Hair can be a really shiny surface, so it can reflect a lot of direct light. And what this means, when you're drawing it, is that you can break a rule I talked about earlier, which is that the dark section of the hair has to be darker than the light section. Not true with highlights. You can draw your highlight section in the middle of your dark hair, and then just draw blinding light in the middle of that to make it more prominent. If you do choose to do something like that, just make sure you don't go overboard with it. A little goes a long way. If you take a look at the overall hair's color values, you'll see that the hair isn't actually super dark. It just looks dark thanks to a fun quirk of color theory, which is that all colors you see are just relative to each other. So if every color in the piece is on the brighter side, which is the case for this illustration, anything even slightly darker will appear really dark, but in actuality, it really isn't. As I said before, a little goes a long way. And that's it for the dark hair. Now we can talk about white hair. The main challenge with drawing white hair is that you have to strike a delicate balance between the hair being so bright that you can't see anything at all, and the hair looking gray instead of white. So when you're picking a base color for the hair, avoid pure white, because it's going to leave no headroom at all for highlights. So choosing an off-white color is best here. You can also add a little bit of hue for just a bit of color. You know, make it slightly pink for a warmer tone, slightly cyan if you want to be a little icy. Similarly, you'll want to split the hair into two big chunks, one light and one dark. Your base color should serve as the main reference for how dark the white hair gets. So instead of shading the hair now, you'll want to create the highlighted area with the color a little bit lighter. Now, if you can't see a big difference between the highlighted and shaded part of the hair, because you gave yourself no headroom, you need to make the shade color a little bit darker. Now let's start off with the shaded section. You don't want to go overboard with shading. The base color already acts as a sort of floor for how dark the hair gets. So instead of starting off with shading, you'll want to start with subtle highlights instead. You can take the main highlight color and either soft brush highlights in the shaded part, or just make it kind of transparent so it's not so harsh. Now, because white hair is so bright, it's going to be more color reflective than other hair colors. Or at least, reflected colors will show up easier on white hair. For example, in this illustration, there's a pretty bright red light source off to the side of the character here. I'll add a red rim light on the sides of the characters that are closer to the light source. I kind of overdo it here, but I'm not exactly aiming for subtlety. You don't have to have it be this noticeable, just a smidge here and there to nudge the color will give off the impression of reflected light. To cap it off, you can add shading for hair strands now. You don't need a lot of them, you just need to break up some of the larger chunks of flat color in order to give the illusion of detail. I'll go more into detail of that later on in a future video, if I ever get around to it. But the general gist of that is that less is more when it comes to creating details for artwork. Back to the hair, if you want your highlights to pop out more, you can add a saturated color underneath them to make a more contrasted border between the highlight and unhighlighted hair. Just like with black hair, you can add depth between the front and back hair by making the back hair a separate color. In this case, because the hair color is bright, you can just make it darker. You don't want to make it lighter because then you won't be able to see any details. Now, a side effect of having brighter hair is that it's easier to notice finer details like individual hair strands. So you can add thin highlighted lines all over the place to represent them. Or at least, the explanation of the hair being brighter makes sense to me. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I guess you'll just have to do research on that yourself, because I don't really know where to look that kind of information up. The last tip is a general art tip. You'll want to change your line art color to match the material it's supposed to contain. In this case, the white hair. So you'll want to make the line art gray to give it a lighter feel than just pure black. General rule, you'll want to make the line art darker than the darkest shade of the hair, unless you really know what you're doing. Anyways, I kind of forgot to change the line art color on the black-haired character here. Oops. That's why it looks kind of weird, because pure black can't really integrate color-wise with the rest of the picture, and with all the fancy post-processing I do on top of this illustration. That, kids, is why you shouldn't use pure black for your line art. Ever. Unless you know what you're doing. That's such a cop-out answer, but it's true. Oh, and in case you're wondering what the heck I'm doing with these color streaks, it's not really supposed to be anything other than super stylized art style kind of thing. See, these characters in particular, my OCs, I think it's a cool idea to have all their colors be represented in their hair through these streaks, because they're color-coded. That's just an intentional art style choice on my part. And finally, to finish this off, I'll add in a background and post-processing to get a finished picture. Now, to be honest, I didn't spend a lot of effort on the background because I didn't even expect to have a background in this picture, but it looked kind of weird without one, so, you know, I had to give it one. Anyways, I also have a before I watched this course picture for reference. These two illustrations came out pretty similar, but I swear I did not do that on purpose. This after picture was just supposed to be a coloring test for this video specifically, but it ended up an entire illustration. Was this all worth it? Do I like the after picture more? Funny enough, I kind of like the white hair in the old picture a little bit more because it's bolder, but also, at the same time, it kind of burns my eyes to look at, so I guess I'll cope and say I like the after picture more. What do you think? Leave in the comments below if you have any thoughts. And as always, thanks for watching.